Well, good evening, District 18 and those outside of District 18 Toastmasters. My name is Kathleen Davis, and I am the Program Quality Director. I want to welcome each of you to our Mastery Monday presentation. Mastery Mondays take place on the fourth Monday of every month from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on this Toastmasters Zoom channel. The link can be found on our District 18 calendar or the Mastery Monday page, accessed from the Education and Training tab. Mastery Mondays is a forum for Toastmaster members to take part in a dynamic presentation where they are given the opportunity to grow their own communication and leadership skills. And tonight is no different. By attending this Mastery Monday presentation, you give permission for your image and voice to be recorded. This recording, however, will only be used as a reference material by other Toastmasters and will not be available to the general public. Also, please ensure your microphone is muted in order to eliminate any background noise or distractions for our presenter this evening. There will be an opportunity for you to unmute and ask questions when instructed to do so. With that out of the way, on to our main event. Our presenter this evening is a software engineer by profession, a tennis player by passion, and a Toastmaster in progression. He started his Toastmasters journey in January of 2016, and it has been an interesting ride since then with lots of learning and new friends. Currently, he is a member of two clubs, Bola Toastmasters, and I'm going to butcher the name again, Venkat, Tamazahutu, a bilingual club in Chennai, India, which is District 120. Please welcome our distinguished Toastmaster, Venkat Krishnasamy.
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. And the club name was Tamarutru. If you could say that. Anyway, thank you all, and I'm glad to see all of you here. At least your names right now, not your faces. To see you all here. I like the interest that you show in yourselves to learn something new on a Monday evening. So once again, welcome all to this Mastery Monday session. And one request is, if possible, and if you can, please turn on the video so that I can look at your faces and get some feedback from you, from your facial expressions during your presentation. Thank you for that. And in today's session, we're going to talk about creating flyers in Canva. The session is campaigning through Canva. I want you to use your chat for interactions. And if you have any questions, please put them down. And Kathleen, would you be my chat monitor today? All right, thank you. Any questions that they would ask during the session, please note that down. And during the Q&A session, we will address that. Okay, because some of the questions may get answered as the session progresses. If any unanswered questions, we can deal with them at the Q&A session at the very end. So today we're going to talk about campaigning through Canva. First of all, this session is about how to create some flyers. Now, one question to you, you can put in the chat, what are your expectations from this session? If you can put that out, and I can read that, I can see if I can do some justice at least to that. How to create a flyer. Thank you. To become more familiar with Canva. Okay, good. General understanding of Canva. Okay. Get new ideas for flyers, templates. Good. Learn more about Canva. Good. and value to the viewer. Okay, that's interesting. Learn the basics on Canva. Yes, we will cover most of these points today, and we will see how to create some flyers here. Again, this section I have put it into three different parts. The first one is some theory about what it is about, and in the theory, it's about a process, and then learn some ideas about Canva. Then next is second section is the demo section, where I will try to open a share my screen in Canva page, and then I will try to create one sample flyer. And the third section will be for question and answers. Okay, so it's going to be theory and some demo and then some Q&A. Those are the three things that we are going to see today. And thank you all for participating in the chat, for putting your objectives. The campaigning through Canva. Can you all see my screen? And am I audible, loud and clear? Thank you. Thank you all. Campaigning through Canva. Let's learn some. And I have to put a disclaimer here. The disclaimer is that this is a process that works for me. And I try to create some flyers through some iterative process. I was able to fine-tune some process as of today. Okay, and this works for me. And whatever references, whatever methods that I use, those are my preferences only. And please use them at your discretion. All right, I want to do this disclaimer. And again, this may not be the best way to create flyers, but this is a process that works for me. Having said that, let's get into the session. The first one, as I said, is about the theory part. And again, process. I told you that I worked on a process, right? So, and before we do that, we need certain things. For example, anything in your lives, if you want some help, who would be the best person to do that, to help you? They are called your friends. Very similarly, in a flyer creation process, also, you need certain friends. Some of the friends, so let's make some friends, okay? The friends are, and again, there's a quote here. The best time to make friends is before you need them, okay? This was said by Ethel Barrymore. And some of the friends that will help us in this process are three things. One, time. If you want to create a flyer, please give yourself some enough time. Don't create a flyer. For example, if you have to create a flyer, don't try to create a flyer in the next half hour. That's not going to work. Help you. Okay, you need to have some time. So make sure that you give yourself the time. The time is your first best friend in creating some flyers, for the matter of creating anything. And second one is, as you all know, Google. And I use Google extensively, as anybody would do, and as any software professional would do. Let's put it that way. And the third one is a platform where you can create flyers. You can create flyers in Canva, and you can also create flyers in PowerPoints. And for this session, we're going to see only about Canva, right? So these are the know about Canva or know the platform where you can create the flyers. So those are the three friends that I would ask you to make friends with, understand them, so they will help you in creating what you need. Second, now let's move on to types of flyers. And again, these are flyers that I have created. To give you a brief overview, how do I started creating flyers, or how I was associated with flyers, right? In my introduction, you saw that I was part of another club back in District 120 in India. And in that club, I served as a VP PR for a 6 month term. one of the practices that they follow in that club is they have to create, or rather they create flyers for every meetings. So they had their themes for every meeting, and for every theme they wanted to have some flyers so that can be sent out before the meetings. And not only that, for any special events like open houses or contests and so on and so forth, they were habituated to create flyers. So as a VPPR of that club, I needed to create some flyers. And that's how I started involving myself in creating flyers and work through this Canva process with Canva. In that process, I find out there are different types of flyers. What are the different types of flyers? So let's know some. The type of flyers are, one is very generic ones. Generic ones, for example, like this. It doesn't have a theme associated with it. The theme is going to be the Toastmasters meeting in this case. That's a very generic theme. And you try to put some headings and timelines, date, and who are the key role players for that day, and an image associated with that. So these I would call as generic flyers, where it does not have any theme except the theme is Toastmasters, right? Very, very generic purpose one. So this is a generic flyers. The next one is very specific theme-based. When I say theme-based, every club meeting, as I said, they have a theme. And for that theme, we have to create some flyers. Or in other words, open house. If you have open house, that's a pretty specific theme, and you want to create flyers for that. So here is one flyer that I created for them. Here, it was about currencies. So most of the things here, if you look, all are associated with currencies and currency symbols. And then another thing was about power of intentions. So I try to involve something related to that content. So theme-based flyers. And then third is recognition. I'm pretty sure you would want to, as a VP of education or club officer, you may want to recognize some of your club members, and that's very key for the success of the club. So some of the recognitions are, you can welcome a new member, and then if someone achieved a particular educational goal, accomplishment, then you can recognize them for that. And there is also the contest being happening every or twice a year or once a year. You can have those contest flyers for that, showcasing their accomplishments. These are some of the flyers that we can create for that purpose. So these are the types of flyers that I have noticed so far. And next is a different thing called mise en place. How many of you know about mise en place? If you can put in the chat, mise en place. Yeah, Beth. Or you can even unmute and say that. It's not a lot of folks.
I know it as a cooking term where you have all the ingredients in little dishes, then you throw them in. You have to set up ahead of time.
Exactly. Mise en place is make sure that you have everything in place. Absolutely right, Beth. So
and
let's collect.
Tammy suggested it was considered a small bite.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think she's hungry.
I think that was it. That's what steered me that way.
Oh, okay. Okay. So mise en place, if you go by the definitions, mise en place is a French noun and means gathering and preliminary preparation of the ingredients and equipment to be used in cooking and serving food. So in the scenario, we make sure that we have everything ready before we cook the process. In this case, before we create the flyers, we want to make sure that we have everything that is needed. So what are the things that you would need to create flyers, right? What are the things that you would need is, first is you need to have the understanding of the content. What is the flyer you're trying to create for? You need to understand that. If you're not the owner of the content, you probably want to understand, reach out to them and ask them, hey, what are you creating the flyer for? For example, if you are a VPPR and the Toastmaster of the day has a particular theme, and you may want to create a flyer for that theme. So you need to understand what the intention of the Toastmaster of the day and what does the theme means to them, so that you can create an appropriate flyer. So understand what you're trying to create, understand the content. And second is collect relevant images. I use Google Images a lot. I tried, as I said, Google is one of your friends. So search for your relevant images and try to download them. Make sure there are copyrights or address there when you're copying some or downloading some images. Please make sure that as well. But use or try to collect some relevant images. And the third thing is, in your flyers, you may want to put some members' photos or pictures. So collect request members' pictures or stock pictures from Toastmasters. Yes, that also works in Mariel. Collect relevant images from wherever possible. All right, so these are the things that you want to collect. Now that you know what the friends are, you know what types of flyers, and now you also collected what you need to create a flyer for. So what is the next thing to do? Is to create flyers. So to create flyers, let's go to Canva. Let's create some. And in this portion, we're going to talk about some theory aspect of it. We'll quickly cover that and we'll go to a demo on this. First is, you may want to log into Canva. Go to canva.com and try to create a sign up for an account for yourself. That way, the images that you create will be available for you to use forever. So make sure you have a you sign up for that, register for an account, and it's free. It's free. You can do that, and you log into it. This is a Canva homepage, and you can log in via login screens here. Okay. We will go over this in the demo as well for sure. And once you log in, then there is what you need to do is you need to choose the format. For example, what type of a flyer, what type of a format that you want to use. Some of the flyers formats available are, there is a flyer, you can see that, which is 5 x 5 and 8 x 5 inches specifications. You can also create some posters which are larger sizes, and there are brochures, bifold brochures and trifold brochures you can see, and there are also Instagram posts and presentations, so on and so forth. There are umpteen number of formats available in Canva. So you may want to choose what you want, what you prefer. Okay. And these are some of the things that are available also. For example, if you're trying to create something for social media, like say a Facebook post or an Instagram post, you have a particular format for that. And again, format here, nothing but the specifications, how long and how wide they are. So you choose the format, and once you choose the format, then you can get to choose templates. Now, Canva offers a lot of templates for you to choose from. There are many free templates. For example, as you can see here, these are some of the templates that it offers for free. Okay, and you can simply click on that and you can use them for your meetings, for your flyers. So choose the template that appeals to you the most. And you can choose a template and you can modify that as well. That also you can do. So you choose the format and you choose the template. And the next thing you would do is make sure that you rename that to the appropriate one. For example, meeting number ABC or 123, the date, just as an example of a flyer, or speech contest winners, the date, something to identify that. So rename the corresponding flyer over here. Once you renamed it, then there is something called as upload. There is a provision in Canva itself where you can upload. What do you want to upload? You remember as part of Mise en Place, you collected relevant images from Google or stock images or stock pictures, and also some member pictures. You can upload them into the Canva through this upload media. Okay, And so once you upload, these are some of the images that I uploaded for the flyers earlier. And once you upload that, then let's talk about font. Now, font, as you know, there are many free fonts available in Canva, and you can see them here. For example, in the template, if you click on any words that are there, for example, it simply shows the corresponding characteristics here or properties here, and then you can see font. When you click on font, it opens up all the fonts, and you can also type in the font that you know of. For example, for Toastmasters brand manual, there are certain fonts are Toastmaster specific, and the free font is Montserrat, right? And Montserrat is available in Canva, so you can simply go into this and type Montserrat. It will just simply list out the Montserrat fonts, and you can use that. And again, these are just images. This is part of the theory, which is the boarding part in any classes, and we'll go to the demo where we can show this everything dynamically. You can choose the right font or choose the font with the contrast. Whatever you can choose, whichever font you want. And then once you do away with the fonts, then there is something called as frames. So what is a frame here? A frame is a frame is a shape in which you can place any image. An image could be a scenery, or it could be a particular person's picture. And if you want to place some member's photo in the flyers, then you can use these frames. There are different shapes of frames available, and you can use them, and you can just add the photo to that. So that's where you would use frames, and that will be available in the elements. Now, once the frames, then there is something called as borders. Borders are nothing but borders which you can use in your flyers. If you remember in the very opening screen, you saw some borders on the top right and left hand corners, and you can use these borders, just place them. This is also available in elements. So, and then there is the lines and shapes that are available under elements. You can all search them here. Go and click on the lines, whichever one you want to use, you can use them. And then there is the colors. TI specifies some brand colors. And these are the colors: True Maroon and Loyal Blue and Cool Gray. And they also provide the hex numbers specifically for that. You can use these hex numbers in Canva, so you can get the exact colors. These are the primary colors, and the accent color is the yellow one. You can use the corresponding X values. If you go to Canva, in Canva, if you click on anything that in your flyers, we will see that in a minute or in a few minutes. The colors will open up, and then in that you can search for a color, or you can simply type in the X value. So the X value, you can take it from your brand guidelines, and you can put it here. That pops up all the colors. And what I have done in my account is I created some logo with these colors so that they will always be there for me, and I can simply use them. So these are the brand colors. And one of the things, best things about Canva is that it allows you to collaborate with other editors. For example, you can create a flyer and you can give edit access to somebody else also, and they can also edit the flyer parallelly. Okay, so for example, if you work on it for a day and then you give it to somebody else, and they will share their inputs and make some changes, and you can collaborate with them and create the flyers. So you can do that via sharing option, and make sure you share the link to edit. You can share it. You can even give an email ID here, or you can simply copy the link and share it to them via email or WhatsApp, text message, whatever works for you guys. So this is one way to collaborate with somebody else for creating flyers. Once you create once you share the flyers, once you create the flyer, then you can download them as images or JPEG images, or even videos or GIF. You can download them in many different file types. You can download them, and once you download them, you can share it with others via email or WhatsApp text message. Again, whichever is convenient for you guys. So that's the theory part. So we saw from logging into Canva, choosing a format, choose a template, make some changes in the template, change the font, choose the appropriate font, choose the colors, put the right elements like frames, borders, and lines and shapes. And then we saw how to share also. And then finally, you can download them and share it with others via emails. So now it's demo time, and I see Kathleen changing it to green. So I'm right on time. Thank you, Kathleen. So let's do something. So for this, I will stop sharing this for now, and I will go to Canva. Can you guys still see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
And yes. So I have already logged into this. So for this purpose, I had it ready. When you're logging in, I don't want to show that. Okay, maybe I can. Just a second. Okay, so this is your this will be your screen wherein you can log in or sign up. When you click on login, it opens up. The one good thing is if you have a Google account or a Facebook account or an Apple account, you can use that itself to log in. You don't have to create a specific login for Canva. You can use your existing other accounts. So you can use your Google account or Facebook and Apple. When you do that, it allows you to log in. And that's how you can sign up, or that's how you can log in. Close this one. So this is a screen where I logged in with my account. And some of the things that you would see here is these are the different types of formats that are available for you to choose. So for example, if I want to create an Instagram post, I can just simply click on this. It creates a blank post. Or do I want to create a logo? I can use this. This has, as I said, many things that you can think beyond flyers, like resumes, or if you want to create a web page or a video, it has everything. For this session's purpose, let's stick to a flyer. So click on a flyer here. It's going to create a blank one. And always it opens up in a new window here. As you can see, this is the earlier one, and it opened a new flyer, which is a blank one here. Nothing in here. So as I said, the next is choose a template. These are some of the templates that I have recently used, and these are some of the suggestions, and these are for different things. And one good thing about Canva is that it allows you to search for almost everything. For example, if you want to search a template that has about wonder, so it may give you some suggestions, and you can use that. Okay, so you can search for if you're looking for a particular theme, you may search if it is available already, or you can simply use some of them. In this case, let me choose this one, for example. Okay, so this is I have chosen this template. This is the template that I chose, and now this is where we would want to rename. So Monday demo. That's how you rename. And the thing is, as and when you change anything, it gets saved automatically. Okay, that was one of the questions I see there. With Canva, you don't have to explicitly save it. So it automatically saves it with any changes that you make, or rather every few seconds it updates. And then we saw about colors. Let's say if you click on any of these elements here, these are square blocks. I see that. You click on that, you can go to a new property opens up here for color. You click on color, and that's when it opens up the list of all the colors. And as I said, you can, if you know what is the hex value of a color, you can use that, or you can simply use the colors available here. And these are some of the default colors. Since it's a free account, the colors are limited, but frankly speaking, these are sufficient, and you can always find out the colors if you know the hash value of it. Let's put a Toastmasters color here, and changes to this one. This is a background. We change it to, let's say, or even white. So this is how you change the colors. And let's talk about font. You click on anything with the text in it, and if you want to add, you can go to temp elements here, or other text here, and you can see there are many varieties of text here. Click on add heading, it will add the heading here, and you can rename that. Okay. Or if it is already in a template, you can just simply click on whatever existing here, and you can change it. Click this one, click the text field here, and go to the font here, and it shows Open Sans Extra Bold, and I want to use, let's say, Montserrat. So it changed the font to Montserrat here. And I want to change the color of this to white. You can do so by changing this. So you can use these properties here to change the font size and the font itself and the color of the text, whether you want to make it italic or bold and what things that you want to do, you can do that. You can even also align. There are many things that you can play with the fonts here. That's how you would want to change. And then we saw about frames. So let's go to elements. I'll delete this one for now. This is a frame that's been added here. For example, if you go to elements and you search for frames, it will list all the frames that are available. And you can simply click on them. If you click on the shape here or the frame here, it just places it in the template. And we also saw about uploads. So let's go to uploads and click on upload media. It opens up your any standard ones. Let me. So I try to upload just a picture called clouds. And if I want to use that, drag and drop it into the frame. So that will drop the clouds or the image that you just uploaded into the frame. That works for everybody. Any image, for example, if I want to put this person into that, simply drag and drop, and that will put the person in the frame. And if you want to align that specifically, you just double click on that. It allows you to move the picture within the frame, and then you align that along with the circle. Now you have an image posted here. These are ways to upload media and use the frames. Okay. And then we also saw about lines and borders. So simply search for borders here. We'll just list out all the borders. So if I want to use this border, for example, in here, and I can do that. You can also flip it. You can do something like that. So you can use the borders for this purpose. And again, there are many things. It's only your creativity that would stop you or that would limit you. So whatever you want to look for, you can simply search on that in this button. It will show relevant shapes or frames or anything. Okay, so this is how you would want to add these things. And next thing what we saw was all right. So let's say that you want to share. We saw about share. Click on, there's a button called share in the top. Click on share. And if you have the email ID of the person, just put the email ID of the person here and then click on send. Or if you don't have that, you can simply share the link to edit. There are many ways to share, whether you want the person to edit it or you want the person to simply view it. For example, you created a template or rather a flyer, you wanted to show it to your president to approve. You can simply share a link to view and then just share it with them. Depends on the need, and simply copy the link and you can just share the link with anybody. And when they open the link, they would be able to open this particular template or this template and this flyer, and then they would be able to edit or view it accordingly. This is what they would do. And once you've done everything, there is the option to download. Click on download, and there are different file types that you can choose from. A PNG is high quality image, and MP4 is a video, and GIF. And so for this sake, let's put PNG and then click on download. Since it is only one template that I have or only one page here, it downloaded right away. And with each flyer, you can add more pages, for example, here, and you can add different template for that as well. So you can keep on adding as many pages as you need. And there is also the option of duplicating a particular page. You can do that. And once you have all these things, and if you try to download that, it asks you what pages you want to add or rather select while downloading. If you select all three, it will download as a zip file, which you can extract later on and pick up the ones that you need. So this is how you would create a flyer and share it and download it. And, any questions before that? Go back to the presentation.
Then Kat, we do have a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. We will take that in a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Kathleen. So that's the demo. And now questions. Any questions you can ask me. And while we have the questions, I would want to just showcase some of the flyers that we have created, and that will go in the background. And any questions you can ask me. Kathleen, just go ahead with the questions, Kathleen.
Okay.
You
The
wanted
first
me to read
question
them?
was from Kathy Lovemore. In terms of images, when is it appropriate to use a PNG file versus a JPEG?
Okay. The basic difference between a PNG and a JPEG is the file size and the quality of the image. PNG files are high quality images. They take a lot of space, and then the quality of the picture would be better than a JPEG. So that's the basic difference. And you can always use a PNG file so that your images would come very crisp. Because these days we're not using any floppy disk anymore. So we will have enough storage space to cover. In that scenario, we can always use PNG files. If you don't have, if you get them, but if you get only JPEGs, that's fine. You can use them as well. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Mary and John would like to know, prior to downloading Is the project you're working on saved periodically, or do you need to save it periodically?
Yes, the project gets saved automatically or periodically every few seconds. So you don't have to specifically save it before downloading.
And then Anne Marie wants to confirm that everyone here can get the PowerPoint.
Yes,
Your
Okay.
PowerPoint.
yes, they can.
Yes. Louise says, for those we share to edit, they must have a Canva account to make the edit.
Not necessary. Not
Do they
necessary.
reshare back for me to get the edited version?
No. Okay. So how it works is, go back to the Canva page here. Let's say this is an image, and this is the flyer that we created earlier. So this is the one that I created. If I want to share this, let's say, and then click on share and edit it, they get the link. And when they click on that, this same page opens up for them. They need not have a Canva account for them, but they simply get this flyer, which they can edit it. When they edit it, they don't have to give it back to you. Whatever changes that they are making, it's in this flyer, and you can also see that parallelly. Or in other words, you can have two people edit a particular flyer at the same time. So for example, I may work on page 3 and somebody else can work on page 2 at the same time. So that's possible too.
Nice. Okay, next question. Anne Marie has asked, do these methods apply to a brochure as well as
Yes.
a flyer?
Exactly. Yes, they do. Same methods apply for the browser too. And for example, let me show you a browser. So this is a trifold browser that we have created. Same thing applies for this. You would use the elements, you would use the borders, and you use the fonts, everything same. The only difference between browsers and the flyers are the sizes, right? So this is, if you look at, this is a trifold browser. So it has 3 parts in it, and the size is different. Dimensions are different when compared to the poster or a flyer. That's the only difference. But from a Canva point of view, it's all the same. No difference.
Nice. Okay, Kathy would like to know, how do you embed an actual working link in the images? Do you need to do this in Adobe Pro or a premium Canva account?
No, not necessary. For example, if you look at this page, it has a link for the meeting, and any text you can embed as a link. For example, you click on the text and click on this button called link here that asks you what is the link that you want to add. For example, HTTPS. Just to give you master number, right? Just for a. So this is made as a link.
Then Kat, what did you click on? I didn't see to bring up the link.
Oh, sure. So any font or either any text that you click on, it opens up the properties, and one of them is something called as link. Right?
Thank you.
So you click on that, it opens up a text box wherein you can type in the address that you want to go, or that you want it to be linked to. So you can do that. One thing with that is, when you create this flyers, when you added all these links, and if you download that as a JPEG or a PNG, the links are not going to work. Okay. because images does not carry those links. Where it would work is if you download that as a PDF, for example, one of the options to download is a PDF. When you download that as a PDF, the PDF will contain the links. So there is a slight difference there. All right, next question.
And the last question we have so far from Valerie is under the colors area. If you click the plus symbol, does it give you access to more colors?
Okay, so if you look at one thing to note here, a good question there. You see some different icon here. That is for the pro account, for a paid account. Any element that you see with this symbol, this crown, that means it's a paid, it's available only for paid versions. So I can click on this plus, but that will not add. Here, there is another plus, you can add a new color, for example, or you can even specify the hex value to it. And then,
So Venkat, a quick question. Where you have colors from your logo, you created those from your premium account?
No. So what I did was I tried to create a logo. For example, let me show you. One of the other things with advantages of Canva is that you can create a team for yourself or rather for your group, and within the team you can collaborate easily. For example, I created a group called or a team called Tamil. Okay, and once you create that, you have the option to create or add a logo to that. So let me see when I get to that. So I tried to create a logo. Here it is in the. Oh, sorry, it's been some time since I created the logo. I went into logo here and created the logo, and in that logo, if you look, this is the logo that I created, and I added some colors to it: the red, the blue, that. So it takes the colors from this, and that's why it's showing for me whenever I click on, say, whenever I click on any colors, it shows the colors from your logo. It shows that. So there is a way to create a logo, and you can have whatever colors it has, and you can have up to only 3 colors from the logo to be carried over to the all screens. There is a way to create a logo. I'm sorry, Kathy, I do not remember it exactly. Let me check that around and then I'll get back to you. Yes. Any other questions?
That is it for the questions at the moment.
Okay. So these are some of the flyers that I created. So let me skip through them quickly. I was thinking that I'll let this run while I answer the questions. Interview.
Well, Beth was saying she feels inspired. She's ready to go out and create.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And there's one.
So Venkat, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
One of the things that I noticed is that, of course, since we are an international organization, each club has a way of doing it themselves, whether they're marketing for various different reasons. And one of the things that I have noticed is the differences between other countries and the United States in the Toastmasters clubs that a lot of other folks outside of the US typically don't use free toast host. They use either email or they use flyers constantly to get people to participate. Let's use India as an example. We have some new area directors in District 18 now who are from India, and that is where they currently reside. And we love and adore them. They've got great enthusiasm and energy, but they too have said the same thing, that you need to create a flyer for everything. And we have explained to them, well, that's not necessarily how we do it over here. But is that, you think, more because of access to the internet and their way of marketing, or is it just a way of, getting people involved and excited and part of, each and every meeting and getting visitors? What do you think?
I think it is the latter. It is the way to involve folks, market to them. It's not a question about availability. Some of the clubs in India do use free toast host, but not all of them, right? But what they do is they create these flyers, and then they market it very well. I would put it that way. They spend time, they spend energy there. They have a lot of folks working for a PR team. Say about, for a district, let's say they have about 5 to 10 people at least for a PR team, and they create flyers for every occasion, for everything. So again, I've been in 2 different districts in the United States, District 10 and 18. The amount of flyers that I see from the other district, the District 120, is enormous when compared to the. I think it's also culturally some difference in terms of how they view Toastmasters. Now we view Toastmasters here. It's all good, I would say. That's how difference, right? Difference is what makes it.
And we learn from those differences. And just along those same kind of lines, we have another question of any ideas on how to market your flyers? That's a good question.
Okay. How to market the flyers is the great aspect. Let me give you an example of how they do in District 120. And again, I'm not saying that is the best way, but I'm just going to share you a different way of doing things. In District 120, what they do is they use heavily rely on WhatsApp. Okay, they have a lot of WhatsApp groups, and most of them are, and again, demographic also plays a role here. And most of the Toastmasters in India are relatively younger folks, say 20 to 30, 40 maybe. But whereas Toastmasters here are, people here knows about Toastmasters much ahead of time. So you would have a 70-year-old or an 80-year-old Toastmaster here pretty easily, right? They are veteran Toastmasters, but you may not have the case back in India, not many of them. So the use of phones and WhatsApp, all those social media is very, very high in that district. So they create a lot of groups, and then they create flyers for all the events, and then they share it in the WhatsApp groups. It reaches them out very easily, right into their cell phones. So that's one way to market it. I see that they don't rely on emails. They mostly rely on these social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Heavily rely on that. So if you are a group, if you are targeting folks, again, going back to the marketing presentation, who personality traits, right? The characteristics that we have, personas. If you may want to market it according to the persona you're targeting. which age group they are in, or which type of persona, student or a retiree, and in between.
Absolutely. And yes, I am learning that, and we have let some other folks understand those things as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Having traveled internationally myself, I've had WhatsApp for 10 years. So
Right,
I had
yeah.
no problems going there. But yes, it is interesting that in other clubs, they have lots of members who
Yes.
are a part of their marketing team.
Yes.
And we don't necessarily have that here and in our clubs, nor do all the clubs have that many people in order to do that. So we really have to kind of rely on each other to get those ideas and the creative juices going on where to put that information, how to get it out there, and how to be your own, marketing person, if you will, without having taken all sorts of classes and college credits and things of that nature.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions? Come on. I do not see anything. So
no, we have about 4 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. So let's look at the summary. Let's review some. What we saw friends and time, Google and Canva, and types of flyers. We saw generate theme-based recognitions. We also saw about mise en place. Make sure that you have everything ready before you start painting your portrait. So understand, collect, and then coming into Canva, you choose the format, you log in, choose the format, you choose a template, you upload the collected images, and you use the right font, and then frames, use the frames, borders, lines and shapes, and brand colors. And we saw how to share it, and we saw how to download it as well. Now, those are the things that we saw, and we saw a demo also of that. And some of the references, I want to take a couple of minutes here to say certain things about these references. So let's explore some. The first reference is the TA brand manual. If you are a VPPR, if you are trying to create a flyer for Toastmasters, there are certain brand guidelines that you would have to follow. So please go through the brand manual and understand what they talk about, what kind of images that we use, what colors we can use, what fonts are allowed. So please make sure that you at least go through that twice. So you understand what are the requirements for Toastmasters flyers. Okay, and you can, and of course you can use whatever I said today. You can use that to create flyers for any purpose. But and if there are any guidelines for whatever you're creating, please follow that. So in this case, make sure you follow the TA brand manual. Understand that. And then next is a very interesting thing called Satori Graphics. What is this? This is a YouTube link. There is a particular person called Satori, and what this, again, these are all links that I have given here. Once you get the presentation, you will be able to find the link right away. Or you can even search that for this person's videos in YouTube. Now, if you're trying to create, or if you're getting into graphic design, okay, now I would highly recommend to view some of the videos of this person. And what it gave me was, I was able to understand what graphic designing is all about, and what are the different types of flyers, or rather different types of graphic designs that we can create that will have an impact. So I would want you to spend some time in learning about graphic designing, at least the basics of it. For example, contrast, something called as contrast. So you may want to add contrast to your flyers, so it captures attention. Then there is also about spacing. So there are many aspects to that. So please try to learn something about graphic designing, what it is all about, at least the basics, so that you can create stunning flyers. Trust me. And Satori Graphics is someone that I saw recently, and I made certain flyers after seeing this person's video, and I personally like them. So this is one way of improvising on your graphic design. And the next is Leila Garani. Again, this is also another YouTuber available in YouTube. This person gives you lots of tips and tricks about using PowerPoints or other MS Office products, for example. And some of the things that you saw in today's presentation, all those transitions of moving images moving left and right seamlessly, they are all from the tips that I got from Leila Garani, the YouTuber, how to transition, morph your presentation slides. So I would recommend that also to go through. Anything and everything that you learn would help you in creating those best flyers. So those are my references. And I would want to leave you, before I go there, some of the, let's go back and take a objective of the first one in the beginning. Some of you wanted how to create a flyer, and you want to become more familiar with Canva. You want to have an understanding of Canva, how to using Canva to create flyers. I want to ask you now, were those questions answered during this presentation? Do you now have an idea, or have you become somewhat familiar with to work with Canva, or at least have a confidence on getting started with Canva? I see folks hitting
got thumbs up,
nodding their heads.
double thumbs up.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That makes my day. Thank you. And I want to leave you with one quote. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. So keep working on your flyers. You may not be able to create a stunning flyer on the first time. Every time you work on that, everything that you take the time and spend some time, you would be able to create masterpieces of that. I want to thank Kathleen at this moment for giving me this opportunity to present my the slides in front of you all. And I also want to thank you for spending your Monday night with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Venkat, for sharing this with us. You are definitely an inspiration in what you have done elsewhere. I am so pleased that you were able to bring that back here to District 18 as well. So we continue to broaden our horizons, broaden our minds, and hopefully this has given you all a little bit of those creative juices to go out there and create more of anything that interests you, not just for Toastmasters, but who knows, maybe for work. And your boss could be pleased of, wow, look what you just did. Wouldn't that be nice? Just as a reminder to everyone, this recording will be posted on our YouTube channel, as well as the PowerPoint slide deck will be available on the District 18 website under the Education and Training tab. Look for Mastery Monday, and it will be uploaded there. Please give us a little time to get that done. Our webmaster always has lots to do, and it is a fairly large file, so it will take us a little bit to do so. Once again, thank you for coming and being a part of our Mastery Monday and listening to our distinguished Toastmaster Venkat with campaigning through Canva. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.